Hi, I'm going to show you how to run the seaborn Python package on the COSMOS HPC cluster as part of the course using Python in the HPC environment taught by these centers. In this session we're going to practice the documentation of COSMOS. We're going to find out why it is important, what it is, we're going to create a plot with it, and that's it. There's some other stuff you can do. So this means I'm not going to go very deep into what seaborn can do, because that's not specific to HPC. That's about learning seaborn. My session is about getting it to do something on an HPC cluster and that's it basically. So I won't discuss this extra exercise. We do a bit more with it. I will tell you what it is. Seaborn allows you to create figures. Here we have some code, simple code, shows you this figure. That's what it does. Seaborn is important because it's one of the most popular Python plotting libraries. It can be used to create publication quality figures. And let's take a look at the plot gallery because most plots are present. Let's take a look at the gallery here. So you see that there are a lot of plot types. If you click on this, you get the code how this plot was made. Whatever you want to plot, it's there. Probably. Exercises. So let's take a look at exercise. We have a minimal seaborn program and a minimal plot. Let's get started. Step 1. Use the documentation of the HPC cluster you work on. Sure. I'm going to move this text to the left. There. I'm going to create a new browser. I'm going to search for Lunar documentation Cosmos. Yeah, that sounds good. And here we are at the documentation. In that documentation, find the software module to load the package. Sure. We're working on seaborn. Let's take a look. There's 2, 3 hits. Let's take a look what this one is. Want to find seaborn. Alright, so it's part of 0.11.2 of what? This is the seaborn module. So now we see this is the module called seaborn with capital S, and these are the versions we can load. Sure, we need to find out how to load the module. That's module load. That's not described here maybe. No, but this is at least we have found it. Let's take a look if the other pages are maybe a bit more helpful. Here we have Python. I'm going to search for Math or seaborn. Nope. Let's go to the third hit. On-demand Jupyter Lab, and here we look for seaborn. No. Alright, so it is there. It shows you that there is a module, but not how to load it. Sure, that's all we need to know. Next step is loading that module. Well, I'm going to close this documentation. I'm going to go to Cosmos, and I'm going to copy paste my answer how to load this module, and it is from the documentation. There. So note that if you load this module, it will probably give you an error that you also need to load this module. So that's what you do, and in one go you get this. Good. So here I load the seaborn module, and let's go to the next step. On your HPC cluster, create a script called seaborn access1 with the following code. Sure. Nano is a text editor to create files with. I add the file name I want it to be. I copy the content. I paste with Ctrl-Shift-V. To a terminal you have to add the shift. I do Ctrl-O to save. I press Enter to accept the name I suggested. And I press Ctrl-X to exit. There. Next step. Run the script. So that's Python. And then the name of the script. There. I use tab to autocomplete, so if it knows what it needs to do with tab, there was only one file left that could be it, and then it autocompletes. What do we see? We see the file, the version of seaborn. We already could see this in the module being loaded. These files match, and we know this also from the code that seaborn indeed shows the version of it. Good. Why is this useful? Well, this is useful because if this does not work, it will never work. If you cannot even get the version of it, it will never work. However, now that we can show the version, we can be it is likely that this will work. We're not sure yet. We're going to take a look at a minimal plot now, and let's see if it works. Good. Next step, a minimal plot. Sure. On your HPC cluster with a script called now with the following content. Sure. We're going to create this file. I'm going to press up to go to my earlier commands. Nano exercise 2. Now I need to copy paste all this text. Sure, I can do that there. Control Shift V to paste. Notice that Nano uses this kind of arrow to indicate it doesn't fit on one line here, but it is complete. No need to worry here. I'm going to press Ctrl O to save. I press Enter to accept my suggestion. I press Ctrl X to exit. Next step, run the script. Well, that's just Python, but now with the 2. And next step, check that the figure is created. Well, with ls, we can see that there's a figure being created. It matches this file name. So something has been created. Sometimes you can check this with eog. That's one of the tools you can use. In this case, it doesn't work. There's a module conflict here, which is fine. But if you use COSMOS without loading any modules, then you can use this way to view your figures. But of course you can also download it or use a remote desktop or whatever. There are many ways to view this figure. With that out of the way, I've showed you how to create this figure. I have showed you how to use seaborn on the COSMOS HPC cluster for this course. I wish you a very good day. Bye.